Greetings, YouTube. Someone contacted me this morning and asked me what was so bad about gutting the Voting Rights Act. What did the act do that I was so upset about? So I'm going to give you an example. The following are questions from a literacy test that was given in the South. This test has to be passed by a black person so that they could vote. Now, this was illegal. No literacy test is required. But that didn't stop the states from putting them in place. And now that the Voting Rights Act has been gutted, there is nothing stopping the states from putting them back in place. So I'm going to read you some of these questions. All right. Literacy test. This test is to be given to anyone who cannot prove a 5th grade education, which was not available to many people in the black community in the South in the past. Do what you are told to do in each statement. Nothing more, nothing less. Be careful, as one wrong answer denotes failure of the test. You have 10 minutes to complete the test. Question 1. Draw a line around the number or letter of this sentence. 2. Draw a line under the last word in this line. 3. Cross out the longest word in this line. 4. Draw a line around the shortest word in this line. 5. Circle the first letter of the alphabet in this line. 6. In the space below, draw 3 circles, one inside, engulfed by the other. 7. Above the letter X, make a small cross. 8. Draw a line through the letter below that comes nearest in the alphabet, and then there's a list of earliest in the alphabet, and then there's a list of semi-random capital letters. Now you see how these questions are phrased. Draw a line around the number or letter of this sentence. Later it says circle the first letter of the alphabet in this line. So if you draw a line around something, they could fail you because, well, you circled it, you didn't draw a line. And it's that kind of trickery that was used to flunk everyone who took this test. Because remember, the people grading these tests were white people, whose goal was to make sure that no black people voted. So this was to give the impression that black people were being given the chance to vote, when in actuality, of course, they could not pass this test. It was not possible. They would be prevented from voting. And that's what the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was all about. It was about protecting Americans' rights to vote. And by gutting it, the Supreme Court has said that they don't care about that. And that it's okay if people put hurdles in the path to the election box. That it's okay if you disenfranchise entire segments of the American population, because you can. In the United States, we have something known as you have to protect people from the tyranny of the minority. What that means is minorities have rights just like the majority does. So if you get enough people together, if you get a large concentration of Plaid people in one town, and all the Plaid people say, oh, I'm sorry, Chinese don't have any rights anymore. You can't do that. Just because one group of people outnumber another group of people does not give them the right to vote away their civil liberties, their human rights. Which is, of course, why I'm opposed to the whole restricting marriage in America. Because that is what they're doing. People are, in actuality, voting to restrict the rights of other American citizens. And we need to protect the minority from the tyranny of the majority. And that is what this is about. It's about oppressing and disenfranchising minorities in America. In this case, people who aren't sufficiently conservative, white, Christian, and male. Oh, and straight, of course. But that's what this whole process is about. It's what it's always been about. And we need to stop it. This is not living up to the American ideals. This, as the title of my video demonstrates, is Jim Crow in action. It was wrong in '65, it's wrong in 2013, and we need to correct it. We need to defend every American's right to vote and to remove all hurdles between themselves and the ballot box. And yet, conservative Americans are putting more and more hurdles in the path of American voters. I'm filming this on July 4th. I did that intentionally. It doesn't seem that we are living up to the ideals that we established, those many years ago. Why is that? Why are we not living up to the ideals that we profess? The ideals that we say are so important to us? Why are we doing everything in our power to oppose those ideals and to marginalize entire segments of the American population? I would really love to know.